a K-3 classroom teacher. She's been a reading recovery teacher and a teacher leader, and we are so excited to have you. And we're looking forward to our PD today for K-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And lots of you there. So we'll just, as I said, this is kind of new for all of us to try and work out how to navigate this. And one of the things, as you would totally appreciate, this is what's going to happen to you with your children being remote, is that we are used to being face-to-face, and I am used to being face-to-face. And so when I'm on Zoom with people, I really like to see them. I like to see your faces. And because I think, you know, the foundation of all of life really, but teaching is relationship. So I like to know your name. I like to know what you look like. I have a very good memory for faces and names. So, you know, I like to kind of, I don't want us to feel that we're at arm's length, even though we are at arm's length. So today we are going to be working on how you people have been using the literacy footprints, and we're going to really dig in today to how you're going to translate that to be teaching on the digital reader. And that's why we've worked really hard so that everybody has access to their digital reader. And I'm going to walk through the different components of it, and I'm going to send you away in breakout rooms. Now, I can't, because there's so many of you, you're not necessarily going to be all kindergarten teachers and grade 1 separate in the breakout rooms. Because there's too many of you, I would have to put your names in separately. But the breakout room will just divide you into, if there's 35, did you say, Ashley? Roughly? How many teachers?
It looks like we're at 45 right now, but we had planned for about 35, 36.
It's okay.
So
yeah, if I put us in, you know, I'll put us into, you know, like even 10 rooms, and that means there's only a few of you in each room. And I don't know if you've used Zoom particularly, because schools use different platforms, and they're all being put in a breakout room, but it automatically puts you into a room with a smaller group, and I can come visit you in that room. So I'm like the good fairy who suddenly comes through the ether and arrives in your room. And so, as you well know also, and you're going to have to be careful of this with your children, you can't Zoom endlessly. It's kind of just like you get like this. So to send you away to do some work together, and then we'll come back and share, and then send you away so that people can do that. Now, Ashley, I see that there's a lot of chats, and I'm not going to be able to monitor the chat. I probably can have a quick look while people are in the breakout rooms. But if you could monitor the chat and just make a note, and if you need to tell me something, just put your hand up or whatever, and I'll see you.
Okay.
Just in case there's... Say it again?
Everyone's just said good morning, so I just checked it. You're good.
Good morning. Okay. So we'll keep you muted unless you're sharing. And if you can go in, and most of you have done this, Jennifer, I see that you managed to do it, have changed so I've got your name and I can call you by your name. Okay? So that's wonderful. So Ashley briefly just said to you that I have been, what I say to you, it's my 48th year of teaching. I got this very, very legitimately, okay? I've been around the classroom a lot. Much of my teaching career, K3, as Ashley said, but I have actually taught right up to 8th grade as a reading teacher. And I currently do professional development K8. I'm a reading recovery teacher leader still, and that's about, I'm contracted to a district for about a third to a half of my time. And then the other half, I work in schools. Normally in Michigan, I'm face-to-face. Or with literacy footprints, I go all over the place, outside of Michigan as well. So my passion is helping children to learn to read and write. And I think this is challenging for us, how we reach particularly our most struggling children in this situation. But Pioneer Valley have been amazing with the resources they've managed to get up and that you have access to, and that we can translate our hands-on teaching in the classroom to having children at home. So you will see as we move through this PowerPoint I'm going to put up in a second, obviously, just like in your classrooms, it's really important at the beginning of the year that you are teaching how to do this to the kids, because it will be new to them. Some of your children will be fortunate because your grade 1 children will have had these resources like the alphabet chart, for instance. They have already experienced that in kindergarten, so that when you talk about the alphabet chart, they know. Those of you in kindergarten, you've got a lot, there's going to be a lot of groundwork to do. And I have taught 3 kindergarten children online every morning for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the day and the child, since March. And it is like herding cats. So I think that, we just, and the tricky part is that the grade 1 children have probably seen you at school, whereas the kindergarten children haven't even established relationships. So there's going to be a lot of that groundwork. So let me share the screen, and let's have a look at okay, can everybody see that? If anyone can't see it, I can't see you anymore. In fact, I can if I go up here. Hang on. There we are. I've got some of you down the side. So if there's any problem, Ashley, if anyone can't see it, everyone should be able to see the PowerPoint. This is being recorded at the request of the district, because there are some people, it looks like you've got a pretty good turnout today, but sometimes there are people who for some reason can't be there, and we don't normally record for copyright reasons, for children's permission reasons, but I talked with Kim, and it can just be used for people who aren't there. But it does mean that if those of you who are here want to re-see it at another time, it could be available to you too, okay? Because there's no handout for this, it's all on here, so you take notes if you need notes. So we're going to talk about using the digital reader to teach guided reading. So I did ask everybody to have their digital reader up in their Google down the bottom, so that when I put you into the breakout rooms, you can sign yourself in and be able to use the reader, because I want you to come out the other end of this 3 hours feeling reasonably comfortable, probably a little overwhelmed, and how to access it, how to get your children on, everything like that. Okay, so let's have a look. So when you go in, and don't go in just yet, don't bring it up just yet, because I'm going to pause it and I'm going to let you go and do that. This will be what you will see. And you'll just click on it, and where it says login, it will log you in, and then you'll be able to add your children, etc. Okay, now just as an FYI for you, and I did email Kim, Ashley, I don't know whether she passed it on to you. There was this, they have an assessment kit, Literacy Footprints, just published, Michelle just published an assessment kit very recently. It was like, I think, earlier this year. And what they are doing for the first year is giving everybody the assessment kit free. Now you have your own assessment, so I'm not saying to you that you should use this at all. I'm just telling you it's there because you're going to see this logo, okay? But it is there free for this year, so that you can have a look at it, and you can look at what you're currently using, and you can, you can have a little play around with it. So it's free for this year. You also see the reading books, you see the groups, and then you see your students. So what I want you to do is I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and you are familiar, most of you are familiar with the books in your kits, but I want you just to play around, go in, find the books for beginners in kindergarten, A, B, C, up through D, And for grade 1, I'm going to give you about 8 minutes. Have a little play. So just a second, I'm going to just take you out up here. I can put you into breakout rooms. And we'll have a little practice. So you're going to end up with about 4 people in a room, and your job is to get yourself into your digital reader and have a look through the box. Learn how to navigate to find the box. And I will bring you back with a 30-second warning. And you will all disappear off the screen and you will end up being in breakout rooms. Oh, looks like breakout room. We've got a few who are not here. See, this gives away all the secrets, Ashley. So Amy and Christine and whoever the number 174.
I don't have one either. Hi, we were just talking. Do we have to have an account to get into this digital reader? Because
Yes, and you should have received an email from them.
I'm one of the ones, I did not get an email. I had heard yesterday through our Title I teacher that something was wrong with my email or something, and they were trying to fix it. So they had typed the wrong name or something. I'm not sure, but I never got the email.
Well, you will get one, yes. And that's why we've worked really hard so that everyone had it today. Now, I don't know unless somebody kind of turns, I don't know if you can see it on anybody else's. Can I just ask who's 17439498847? That person is a spare person in your room. Do we know who that is?
I don't know.
Hello? Can you turn your video on? Okay. So your job is, Amy, I don't know what to say to you. I am going to go into my own digital reader from time to time.
Okay.
And I don't know how it works here, whether anyone can turn it around so you can see it. I don't know. But that you will get an email and you do need to respond straight away. I mean, it's valid for a month, but I know you all want to get on anyway. So Amy, are you the kindergarten Amy? There's probably more than one Amy.
No, that's Amy Morgan. I'm Amy Brown in first grade.
Okay, I'll put Amy B. I'm just trying to sort you. There's quite a lot of people, so it's not so easy because I don't see you all at once. You keep moving.
Right.
Okay.
I can change my name and put a B if you want me to.
You know what? If sometime, don't panic about it.
Okay.
Okay, Liz, can you see yours? Give me a thumbs up. Are you into your digital? Okay, so have a practice. Look in, find the books, find the beginners, bring them up so that you can look. You'll see them all. They're all just random, and then you would click on the left-hand side, click on either beginners or A or B, and it will sort them. Just so you know where to find them. You thumbs up if you are familiar with all of these books. Yeah. So no, Christine, are you new or you haven't used it before?
I used my first grade teacher's access last year when she was out sick, but I'm doing kindergarten this year, and
so you changed.
Yeah, and I didn't have a login. I mean, I just signed up, but
have you got a login?
Yeah, like I just went to the bottom where it said create an account, but
did it let you into the digital reader?
I can't find it.
No, because you haven't got a subscription. You can't just log in for it. You can log into Literacy Footprints. That's fine. I'm really sorry for those of you, but perhaps, the others can talk about what they're seeing.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to leave you. Don't you love this? I'm like the good fairy. I kind of fly in.
It's awesome.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back again. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come back to you. Hang on.
Can
Right.
they?
Hi.
Are they gonna be able to access books without us? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they gonna be able to see a book before we teach it to them, or?
No, no.
Okay.
You have to assign it, and we'll go
Okay.
through that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can only see the books that you've assigned to them, so they don't have. And let's say that they're reading D, just for argument's sake. So then, for their book bag, you would or bookshelf, you would assign them B and C. So they would be able to see the books that were easier for them to read as a familiar read. Or at the beginning of the year, sometimes they haven't necessarily seen them, but they're easy so that they can access them. No, you control that.
Okay.
Has everyone got access? We're finding that some people someone didn't get the right email, and somebody else was sharing a grade, I think probably was a sub last year. So there are some who don't have access. Okay, just so we know. I'm going to go into my own digital reader as we move through, so those who don't have access and can't look at it this morning will be able to see some of mine. Okay? Okay? Everyone here's got access, thumbs up? Yes.
We're working on, Brenda Kopp is in here with me. She is our instructional assistant at Jarvisburg. So I just added her last night. So
Yeah, she hasn't got an email yet.
I don't think so. So she's in here with me looking at
That's
mine.
fine. That's a great idea, because I did say to the people who couldn't see before, are you able to, can you look anywhere? Can you be anywhere that you can look on somebody else's, so that at least you can see it today? Because once you kind of fiddle with it, you know, it just takes practice. Okay, I'm going to keep going because yes.
Before you leave, Kim sent me a link to do attendance. So when we meet together as a whole group,
Yes.
can I just speak to that real quick before you get started?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Fine. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I feel like the good fairy who kind of flies in and flies out. So put your thumb up if you've got access, because I'm finding there are some people who, for some reason, if you are in your digital reader, put your thumb up. And I know Emily's taking a phone call up there. So does she have access? Yes, she does. Okay, that's great. So you're all okay there? Any questions currently?
Well, I was just looking at the books, and the beginner steps and level A books are the same. Is that correct?
Well, not really. If you click on beginners, there's level A that are just beginners level A, and then there's level A's that are level A. So they're different. So when you click on beginners at the left-hand side, it will give you about 10 level A's. And then if you click on level A, it'll give you a different 10 level A's. Okay?
Okay, there's still some beginner steps books in when I click level A.
Okay, I don't know why that is. It should sort them out.
Now, some of them say level A and some of them say level A beginner steps.
So the beginner's steps go with the beginner's steps. Yeah, so just if they come up like that, I don't know why, and I could make a note to ask them why it's sorting like that. But make sure, because you assign the books, the kids can't get the books until you give them a book. So make sure that if they're a beginner group, then you click on the level A beginner, or if they're a straight level A, just do a level A. So you can control.
So when I go to beginner steps, they all say level A beginner steps.
Yeah, that's correct.
When I go to level A, I get some that say level A, and then I get some that say level A beginner steps.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is when you go to assign them,
right.
If you get that happening and you've got a beginner, make sure you choose one that says level A beginner. And if you're in straight level A, don't choose one that's got beginner, because you've
I gotcha.
probably already done them. And you'll know that as you go through. I don't know why. I'm sure that they're having some bugs as
I
to
thought they're in
how.
alphabetical order though.
Say that again?
Kasika's A, B, C, D.
Say that again.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey.
You said something about alphabetical order.
Yeah, we were wondering if the books go in a number order, kind of like they are arranged in our
They're
hard
not.
copies.
They're not. You don't know what lesson number they are. Now you do. We're going to go to this next, but you can go to it since you're there. On the left-hand side, they've got the K-1 mostly done. There's a lesson plan, and if you click on that on the left-hand side, if you've got a book assigned, assign it. Just wait, and as we walk through it, you'll see that they have made online lesson plans. Okay, so they're not this. They've kind of simplified them for things that you can't really do when you're online. So you'll see they do have a number at the top, but just on the screen you don't know. It's kind of tricky. You don't know what order that they don't match the order. So if you I'm going to suggest to you when you get going, when we get into it, is that you print off the lesson plans and then you will know what order they are. Okay.
Where are the lesson plans at?
Well, wait till I assign. We just wait till we walk through the process, and then when we learn to assign the books, when a book comes up, it will have all the stuff for it to the side.
Okay, thank you.
So just hold tight. Yeah.
Do I go back? I gotta go back to my room.
No, why would you? Here, I'll just turn mine down.
Someone needs to mute their microphone.
Tell Liz to come over.
You do need to, when you come back, you need to mute your microphone because it will give us that feedback noise. Otherwise, and if you have it unmuted and you hear that noise, it's because somebody's cell phone is too close. So just move your cell phone away from the computer just a little bit. Sometimes there can be feedback. Are we all back? Now, I know that I have some questions, and for some of them I can give you an answer now. Others wait as we walk through the process because I think you're going to find that things are answered. Ashley, are you there?
Yes.
You want to talk to them?
Yes, please. So I'm going to link an attendance form in the chat. So please be sure to fill that out. And I'm not sure, Michael, when we go into breakout rooms, is the chat cleared or is it still there?
I have no idea. Can you see chat in the breakout room?
It looks like when I came back to this, it looks like it's all cleared. So our messages this morning are gone.
Well, we can save them. You can click down the bottom on the right and it gives you a place to save the chat. I'm sharing now. Let me just stop sharing and see if I can find it for you.
Okay. So if everybody can just click that link to make sure that you have it so we don't lose it. And I can always send it again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
There is a chat. Somebody just said there is a chat in the breakout room, but it's a separate link.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
That's okay. Okay. So one of the things that came up, a couple of you, for various reasons, don't have a link yet. Someone's email was typed in incorrectly. Someone only got joined up last night. So haven't got a link, you need to make sure that you tell Ashley or Kim that you don't have the link yet, because they've worked really hard to make sure that people have this access so you can have a little opportunity to practice. Now, I don't know whether the people in room 1, some of you, 2 of you didn't have links in there, Amy, B, and somebody else. What Ashley did with someone who didn't have a link was that that person is sitting to her right. You can see back a little bit so they can see on her screen. So it is helpful if you, I don't know whether you're anywhere close to people that you can look over someone's shoulder, distancing with a mask or whatever you need to do, okay? But just, we have to just kind of shake this out as we go. So read the books. Now, some of you are familiar with the books. Some of you are not because you've changed grade level. So make sure you get in there and you look through. One thing that you don't see on the digital reader initially when you just have the whole screen of books, you don't know what lesson number that book is. So it's not like your kit where they're up there in the order of the lessons in your box. But when we get in to the actual assigning a book, and a book is assigned, you will see that on the left-hand side of the screen, they have created, in fact, it's our next, let me just click to the next one. See here, these are J, but we don't know whether they are lesson 1, 2, 3, where they are. But when you assign a book, it will have a list of things to the left of that particular book. So for instance, this one, the K-1s are all completed. They have written a new lesson plan that matches the book, slightly simplified from the one in the kit, so that there are things that you can do with children online. There are some things that you really need to have them in front of you. And these have, it'll bring it up in a second, these have the lesson number on them. So what I did was print off the lesson plans, and then I know what books to choose next. Does that make sense? Okay, we'll keep walking forward and we'll see how to do this. I don't know, let me have a look at it. So the lesson plan is there. So let's go back one, and I think this is actually not a, no, let me just go into my one and I can show you, just a second. Hang on a minute. Let me just see if this one here will come up with. Okay, so I've just gone out into my own digital reader for this book and see this little, can you see this? Okay.
No, we can't. It's just the screen is black, I think.
Okay, well, let me go out again and start again. Okay, let me reshare. Hang on, it may be that I've got too many things up. Can you see a book that says fruit salad? Can you see a book that, can anyone see it? Yes. Yes. Okay, to the left here, can you see to the left here? Okay, that says lesson plan. And so that is what the lesson plan would look like. And it will give you the level and the number. So if you print these out, just do them in black and white, don't think you have to use ink, and it will give you day 1, for instance, and day 2. And that then you can just keep them by your desk. So that is a way to know which order they come in. Okay?
We're not seeing the lesson.
We're not seeing this. I'm not seeing that. It was there and then it disappeared.
Okay, well, I went into the lesson plan. Okay, well, I'll just keep going forward because they'll come up in the PowerPoint as we keep going. Okay, just a second. This is a PDF. Probably I would need to do a screenshot of it or something. But if you are on your digital reader, and when I send you back to the breakout rooms in a second, you're going to be able to find them yourself. Okay, if you click on a book, it will come up looking like my one, just the fruit salad did, and you'll be able to click on the left-hand side yourself. So I'm going to send you back to your breakout rooms. You can bring up any book in K1, should all have a lesson plan. And it's just like a little page on the left-hand side. And I will come through your rooms. I'll start with room 4 this time because I didn't get round you all before. Have a look down the left-hand side and you'll be able to see some of the things that you are able to access for each book. Okay? So let me put you out.
All right. I got kicked out.
I just got back in. I was kicked out too.
You got it.
Oh, I need to tell them I'm not
So can you bring up your books like you brought up your books before? Just bring up and then double click on any one and the book should come up on the screen.
You know, I'm sure we're not supposed to do that, but just for, yeah.
Here, let me go over here.
But I'm here and I'm listening, so I'm going to translate.
Christine, can you see someone's? Because I know you can't see yourself.
Someone gave me their info. I'm just trying to get to the page.
Okay. Tara, can you see it?
Yes.
And you're on a book and you can see the lesson plan.
Yes.
Good. And so you can see how it looks. So if you were to just print those out, the reason I think it went black on my screen is it's a PDF and it takes a minute to probably populate. Now I think about it, PDFs can be a bit slow coming up. But that gives you, then you would know what order to assign the books. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Have you got other people in your room or just you?
I do. That's why I came out to the hallway.
Hey, can you put your video on so I can see you?
Mine?
Ashley?
Oh.
Do you not have good access in your room to that you had to come in the hallway?
For me, we had to come into the hallway because we just have too many people all in one room. So we're all in different breakout rooms.
Yes, you are. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sorry. I can't organize to have you all, and I do mix you up a bit so that you're not with the same people all day. Okay, from Ashley. Don't know why she's not.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Taylor. We got kicked out. There was nobody in my chat room.
Oh, but you can't. So did you get back in? Obviously,
I got back in, but then the breakout session that you put me in, it was just numbers, no names, no people, no sound.
Oh, and what I think it's. Are you in something now?
I'm back in the main session now.
Okay. Well, let me. I did see that. Let me just have a look.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So she's gone somewhere else now. Okay, did you manage to get into your, I had to assign her to a different room. That's what happened. Can you hear me? Okay, are you looking at your book and can you see the lesson plan? So you can know, fine, that's all I want people to do so they can see it, how it's there. I know this is kind of a bit back and forward, but unless you go in and you do it yourself, it's like, I've got to remember this to do it afterwards. Okay. Ashley, did you get in and see a lesson plan?
Yes.
Emily,
Yes.
you did?
Yes.
Put your
Yes.
thumbs up if you
Different
could
books
get
than
it.
other people.
Say it
How
again.
did I end up in this room?
Say it again. Say that again, Ashley.
I said, how did I end up in this room?
Yours is back in the main room.
Oh, okay. I thought it was another breakout room.
I was going to say, it's a bit frenetic, isn't it? You kind of go through time and
I know.
space. Yeah. And I didn't leave you in there for that long. But
Now, I have a question. So
Yep.
the intervention kits, do they have the lesson plans?
yes. Oh, well, they may not be written yet. We're working
Okay.
I
frantically.
have some of the books that they had on level B.
Sorry, who said that?
Megan, Dale.
What did Megan say?
Oh,
Someone said something.
You're fine.
Thanks, Ashley. I had the same question.
Okay, yeah, the intervention kits are not there yet.
Okay.
Well, they may not have the lesson plans completed. They're working, and before they go up on the screen, the proofreading people have to make sure that everything looks good, and they are working feverishly to get them up and done. I think they're all written. They're just working to get them posted up there. So they will be there. In fact, every day you'll find something new has gone up or something has been completed. Okay? They will be there. And you can just use your ordinary ones because you have the kit. You don't have to use those ones. You can use your own. If they're not up there yet, you can just use your ordinary intervention kit lesson plan. But there are some activities that don't work so well. For instance, and you'll see this, and we're talking about it, when you're doing the picture cards for sounds, the kids don't have the picture cards. So you have to hold them up on your screen. You know, things like that we're used to the children doing the manipulation of them. Okay. Okay, so let me just bring up the PowerPoint again. Sorry, here is the PowerPoint. I think I was just saying to one group, I think the reason it went black when you looked at it was because it's a PDF and it was probably taking a little minute to pop up. Okay, so I won't do that. So we looked at the lesson plans. They have the same components as you are used to. There are some things that are simplified and some activities that have been taken out because they don't work so well when you're trying to do them remotely. Okay, so why is this not going? So, beginner step 2-day plan, you may find that some of the things have been taken out, but basically you've got your names, your letters, your sounds, and your books. I am interested to see how Michelle has done all of it. The other thing that we're working on is videos to go with at least some of the lessons. Okay, and Michelle has been working on the videos for the beginners because I think that's probably going to be the hardest piece of kindergarten. And how do we do the interactive writing and how do we do the cut up sentence? Because I think that we're going to be having to model it. Okay, so those are still there. Those shape of the lesson are still there.
Everyone's seeing a black screen still.
Okay, let me try again. Share. Can you see now?
Yeah, I can see all of your slides.
Okay. I think just when I'm going in and out, I've got to make sure that I end up in the right one. So this is the one that you are used to, okay? And you will see that some of those things, just keep using those until your one's up online. If you find there's something you can't do, then you'll have to just adapt it, okay? And you can imagine with your little ones, you're going to have to just introduce a little bit at a time, and perhaps do it for a couple of days so that they get used to doing it. So here you can see they're talking about the rainbow writing the kids can do, sort by color, clap syllables. You can preview the book. Up whenever you need one of these cards, it is up on, it's in the same spot that somebody needs to mute their microphone and get a lot of feedback. Can you mute it, please? Sorry. Okay, I'm seeing several not muted and I'm getting a lot of feedback. Margie, yeah. Okay, if you need the ABC card, then it is up to the left in the same row that they have the lesson plan. If there is a card that's needed for that lesson, it's going to be up there. Okay, so if you need the sound boxes, if you need the ABC chart, you're able to click on it and open it. Okay. This is what it looks like. This is what you just looked at for those that are up there. Now, what does she say? So when you're doing the shared writing here, you are having to, it's like you're modeling it. And they get to practice on their ABC chart, etc. They got the learning names, the same sorts of activities. Now over here, just so you know, here, where it says choose a letter sound activity to practice letter sound activity sheet, you will see as you move into ABC, that moves to choose a sight word to practice with the sight word activities. I thought to myself, where is that? It's not up yet. They're going to create a list of things that you can give to families to practice at home, but it's not up, it's coming. There, by September 1st, supposedly, okay? So this is what you looked at when you looked up on, there was a lesson plan, and for this book you need the ABC chart. At the end of the book, we'll show you in a second, there's a check mark at the end of the book that when the child reads it on their own digital reader, when it's been marked 3 times, it will automatically go into the bookshelf, book bag. I'm sorry, we'll talk about this, it's a bit confusing. The book bag is where it goes directly after it's read. Now, my little nephew I'm working with, he's got the hard copies of the books. They bought the books for him. They wanted him to have a hard copy. So he doesn't actually read on his digital reader, so his books don't move. I'm clicking away and I had to ask Michelle, why is it not moving? Because he has to read it. And you'll see as we go through, that's one of the ways that we can monitor that they are rereading their books, okay? And that will just come up on there if you need to have your ABC chart. I have to tell you, I worked, as I said, there's 3 kindergarten children I worked with from March. 2 of them were little twins of friends down the road. And when I started to work with them in March, one knew 26 letters in March of kindergarten and one knew like 32. And this ABC chart was invaluable for us to have a common reference at the end of the screen to say, you know, you're writing and it's and they say, I don't know how to write and you say, oh, it's rabbit. Have a look on your card, it's rabbit. And I found this immensely helpful. So make sure that you teach it early and that they know how to find it, that they have, you know, access to it. Some of these things can be printed off. When I talked with Ashley and Kim the other day, and we're going to move into word study in a moment, we talked about the children having the materials at home. And one of the suggestions, and Ashley, I don't know whether you want to add to this, was that the kids have to come and pick up their Chromebooks. Is that correct, Ashley?
Yes, that's correct.
And that you talked about putting together baggies with magnetic letters, the alphabet chart, the sound box card, and so that they actually have those things at home that they can use. Okay, so we're working on how you can organize and distribute so kids have stuff in their hands. You will see, if you happen to frequent Literacy Footprints website, that they have put together a bag of everything, but they're quite expensive, and you felt that you had those materials there that you could send home. So that's something to put on your list, Ashley, that you'll have to work out what needs to go in it. And okay.
And Kim did that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's the reading the books. So you know how to find the books, and you know how to bring them up, and you know how to see down the side what resources you have with them. Personally, first thing I would do would be to print off the lesson cards that you need for the levels and just put them in a folder, put them somewhere so that you have them there if you need them, okay? This is the kit that you can buy, but if you put your own together, it's fine, but it tells you the sorts of things that need to be in there so that kids have what they need to be able to do this work at home. Okay, so you've got to invite your children. So this is the screen that comes up when you sign in, and there are two ways that you can invite your students in. You can invite them individually with just your add students, or this one brings up an Excel sheet and you can type all your class in with all the information and import them all at once. So you have to decide, depending on your role, what's going to be the easiest, quickest way for you. So let me just show you. That's where you would click on this, and this will come up then with these two fields at the bottom. Can you see that? Everyone can see that? Thumbs up? Okay.
It's still all we see is all of your slides still.
Oh, shoot.
But when I think you go to one slide, it goes black for people.
Hang on.
But that's just what I'm seeing at my end.
We're actually able to see it, so I think it's doing different things for different people.
Is that any better? No, hang on. Yeah, that can happen. Let me try again. Is that any better?
I still see all of the slides, but I'm on a Chromebook, so.
It could be, sorry. Okay, so this is what happens with different things, okay? Okay, but can you still see it, Ashley, enough to be able to follow it?
It's really tiny. I mean, can anybody else?
Has this been like this all the time, or it only just started happening?
No, we've just seen the slides, or if you go on one slide, it goes black.
We're on a desktop and we can see it normally, like we can see the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm on my Mac and I can see it normally.
So it may be the Chromebook.
I'm going to try to log in on my desktop and see.
Okay, thanks.
I'm on a Chromebook and I see it fine.
Somebody said to go full screen, that made a difference. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm on full
True.
screen.
Go full screen and you can see her pointer and her stuff.
I love the way we're all problem solving. There's going to be a lot of this. Okay, so we're okay to keep going? Does that help you, Ashley?
Yes, I still see all the slides, but they're a little bit bigger. Yes, keep going.
Okay, So we can add a student individually, or we can import from thing. So these are all the fields that one fills in when you are going to, if you were either doing it individually or you are doing it, import the students. Doesn't matter, you have the same information and it tells you how to do that, and you can do it from Excel. So you would put in, and these, if you're doing this individually, this comes up and you fill it in individually. If you pull up the Excel spreadsheet, it gives you the same fields. They're populated and you would type in for each child. So you put in the kid's name, the grade level that the child is in. Now, you may not know their current reading level because we haven't done the assessment yet. Did your children get tested at the end of the year, or is January really the last time that you have information?
January was the last time.
Yeah, and then kindergarten you won't have anything, and we're going to talk a little bit about all you need to do for kindergarten at this stage anyway. So if they're in grade 2, what's the expectation for where they should be coming into grade 2, just for argument's sake? J.I., where do you expect your children to finish up grade 1? What's the district expectation for grade 1, end of grade 1? What level? Sorry?
Level
I. So, you know, probably I wouldn't necessarily, I might put, I think you have to populate this to make it work, but you can go back and change it once. You want to be able to put some books in there that the kids can read. So you might put I, if that's the expectation. Now here you can leave the group until later because you won't necessarily know the group at this stage. That's okay. Make these two very simple and keep them the same. Like if you might have Jack 1 2 3, Mary 1 2 3, Bill 1 2 3. So don't be clever with your names, usernames and passwords. Make it really simple so they can remember them. And then you down here, if you were wanting to, let's say this child here, I think this won't go down, but then you would click bookshelf are where the easy reading go. And you would click, if this child was I, you might put in GH or even FGH. And then easy books would pop up in their bookshelf so that they would have books that they could access and read. Even if they haven't already read them with you, they're the levels below where you expect the instructional. This is going to be a little bit hit and miss at the very beginning, but just get some books in there that they can read. Okay? And then this will populate for each child, and you can here can cut and paste it, and you send the invitation, let me just move this, to the parents so that the parents can sign the children in at home. And this would be the children's access. And if you put it in an email for them, if they forget, then they can do it. I have found that my kindergarten parents have not had any trouble doing this. They've found that this was okay, they could do this. So what I want you to do is to go in to your digital reader again, practice just putting, I would not go to populate or import the whole thing at the moment, just practice entering one child. Make up a fictitious child, you might remember a child, go in to add student and have a little practice. I'll put you in a breakout room. She says, where is it? Where, how can I go? Go. Are you back in the main session? Did you not get assigned?
Yeah, I got kicked out. The whole thing shut me out, and then I just had to log back in.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can just do it here in the main room. So
Oh,
just
okay.
look on your digital reader and try and add a student.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm using my desktop.
Yeah.
So
Have a
I will
little
do that.
practice. Yeah.
Okay,
But I could
thank
add a
you.
student on here.
So Michelle, you okay over here? Are you practicing?
I'm trying to get where I need to be so I can practice.
Okay. Where are you?
Where are we, Christy?
So I set her up. Oh, turn the other one off. I was trying to help her to have 2 screens, and then you were doing the breakout rooms, so I was multitasking.
It's okay. I just want you to practice putting a child in. You make up a fictitious child, and it should be on the first screen when you go into the reader. It should have add student.
You don't have the other screen.
You log in.
Let's do the same thing. I don't know what other screen. I don't know. Let me ask her when she's on. What other screen is she supposed to have?
It's the login screen for literacy footprints.
Okay.
That should be the screen you're looking at, the first one you go into. And then on the right on that script would have add student.
Yeah, she doesn't have that. Okay.
Did she get an invitation? Has she been able to get into literacy footprints?
Well, I got her into literacy footprints.
No, sorry, I mean into the digital reader. Does she have her invitation to join the digital?
I'm not sure. I just came in here to try to help her.
Okay,
So
well, if she doesn't have the invitation yet, she won't be able to get it.
Okay. Let me
So
ask.
she'll need to just look over somebody's shoulder.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Jennifer, did I already talk to you? Did you manage to get in?
I don't know. It kicked me out, but I am able to add my students.
Oh, you know how to do that. You can practice.
I watched the webinar last night. Yeah, so we're good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's just a case of walking through it. You know, it's like, what do I do first? Then I do. And I just want people to feel it so that they actually can go back and do it by themselves. Now, some people are having trouble, like Michelle, I think, did you actually get an invitation? Unmute.
You're asking me if I got an invitation from Literacy Footprints?
For the digital reader. Because if you didn't, you would know if you got one, because that's how you can't get in unless you've got the invitation.
Well, then, yes, I got it.
Okay, and did you log in? Did you sign in?
I did.
Okay, so are you able to see your screen with the student, add a student?
Let me go back.
That should be on the login screen.
All right, so digital reader. It keeps taking me back to the sign-in screen.
So you've already signed up?
Yes, I'm going to click on sign in, teacher login.
Yeah, teacher login.
All my stuff's there. I'm submitting and I'm in, which I was in earlier.
Okay, so you're back in now?
Students. Yep, click on
Add
students
student.
and then add student. I've already added, I already added one.
Okay, so you know how to do that. That's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. I just want people to walk through it.
Thank you.
probably think I'm laying on the floor. Here's your screen. Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, Lordy. She's just waiting for everybody to play with it. And your students.
I want.
You're going to have to go, when it says that, you have to,
Saying that.
Okay, it looks like most of us are back. Thumbs up if you added a student, that at least you added one, you went through the process. And if you didn't, can you unmute and just, I know some people still haven't got their invitations. Signing up for the digital reader is not just like signing up for Literacy Footprints. Anyone can sign up for Literacy Footprints, but for the digital reader, you have to have a subscription, which is why you got an email invite to sign in. So if you haven't for some reason got that invite, or some of you know why, that there was an incorrect email, make sure that Ashley knows or Kim knows so that they can follow back up with Literacy Footprints at Pioneer Valley and they can sort it out for you. But most of you had a practice. Now, one of you told me, and I know that you have been alerted to the fact, and some of you may have been watching the webinars that Literacy Footprints have done, that Jan and Michelle and Karen endlessly across the summer. There is one on the remote teaching and there is one on the digital reader. So that's another, and you can just go into Literacy Footprints, this is the website itself, and go back to their webinars. They're all archived and you can watch them again. So that's helpful if you're having issues with steps and things. Okay. Any questions that you can see about this, Ashley? Okay, I see there's a question here. Will teacher assistants be able to be, and this is an administration kind of question, but I'll tell you that there can be 3 people on one account. So if you are a grade 1 teacher or a kindergarten teacher and you've got Donna or you've got Christine as your teacher assistants, then they can be signed in on your account. So that will be something that you'll have to work out with Ashley and Kim. I'm not exactly sure how you do that, but I know that you can have 3 people on one account. So does that?
We had enough to put teacher assistants on their own accounts.
Okay.
Being on that, but we can also add them, like you said, to the teacher account. That's easier.
Well, all it does, if they're working with groups, then they can see what books have already been assigned or whatever. So there is a little bit of backward and forward. It'll take, you've got to sort out who has access to what. But that just helps too, so that if you are teaching small groups in, you know, alongside somebody else, that you're not using the same book. So you've got some Title I people like Emily, who's doing Title I and reading recovery. Then if she does literacy groups in the other half of her day, and they're from someone's classroom, so just one classroom, then she can just, that actually saves the children having 2 sign-ins. Which I know that I've got 2 daughters, one's got a 10 and a 12-year-old, and she said, you know, it's just, you can't handle too many sign-ins. You won't get the kids in there. Good question. Are book levels available below and beyond our grade level? Because they realize that you may have grade 1 children who are higher, and that you may have grade 1 children who are lower, or kindergarten children that are higher, they are creating a digital book room that if you need books, if you're not muted, could you mute yourself? I'm getting some feedback. So that if you need books higher than your kit or lower than your kit, then you will have access to books in this digital book room. It's not up yet, but it's coming. The other thing, because you can have 3 people on an account, it could possibly be that you're a grade 1 teacher, but you need to access some higher grade 2 ones so that you can be on that a grade 2 teacher's account as well. So yes, there is provision to have books above and below. Okay? That answer that question? Okay, let's keep going. Actually, we're not going to keep going. We're going to stop for 10 minutes and you can run to the bathroom. If you haven't already run to the bathroom, get yourself something to eat or drink. And my clock says 9:20 and we'll start again at 9:30. Okay? If anyone has questions, I'll still be here. If you have a question you want to ask me, whatever, please feel free to just unmute yourself and talk to me. Okay, everyone, 9:21 now, come back at 9:30. Just get up, go for a walk, do the whatever. Go back in and have a practice.
I have a quick question. Do you think that they will ever add a feature like that you can actually, you know, from your mouse be able to hover over a word or redirect them as to where they were when they left off? I used Reading A to Z in the spring when we were doing our virtual learning then, and they had that feature where you could like highlight a word or hover, you know, and make marks and circles.
So let me clarify for you. That A to Z, if you are sharing your screen and the child is when they read from their own digital reader. When you are introducing the book, everyone is looking at your screen. Okay, so then you send them off to read and they bring up their own digital reader and they're reading at their own pace on there. On your screen, you can do that. You know, you can.
I can do it on my screen. Okay.
On your own. Well, your cursor does it. Yes. So you just put your cursor underneath so the book is up on the screen. Now, the only thing that I have discovered videoing more videos for Michelle is if you, for instance, want to record your lesson because you have some children who are absent that day and you want them to be able to see that lesson and you might record your lesson. Zoom does not record the cursor. And so where I've been reading, I will show you a lesson I did at level A, and you will see I'm saying, let's find the word "and," but my cursor's not showing it. And banana, banana, what does it start with? And when I did it, I, of course, put my cursor under the B, but it didn't get recorded. Okay. So Michelle, fortunately, can copy them into her QuickTime, and she can put the cursor in for me. But I'm not doing any more level A's and B's where you have to point. I mean, I don't know. Yes, so, but I don't know. If they're on their digital reader, then you can't. You haven't got your cursor on their screen.
Right,
Okay?
I understand. I guess what I'm trying to say is in the spring, I could like highlight. They just had different features where I could.
There is an annotate at the top. Yeah. And if you click annotate, it does give you can do all sorts of different things.
Where is the annotate?
Annotate, go up to, let me just share the screen. Hang on. It's on the shared screen. Hang on, let me just bring it up. I'll just bring up any shared screen, okay. I'll just share this one here. Okay, if you go up the top, if you share your screen and you go up the top, annotate is just up on the top bar. Can you see this or not?
I can't see. It's blacked it out or something.
Okay, well, I think it's just, it might be because okay, so let me come back here. Let me go to this one here. Okay, let me see if this one here works. Oops, hang on, just a second. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am sharing, and when you go up to the top, where I'm sharing, and just slide along, there's annotate. Can you see that?
It's blacking it out a little bit, but I mean, I kind of see where you are.
Can you see, okay, can you see that on yours? Can you go into your own,
We're trying. Let's see.
you have to be in Zoom. What do you use?
You have to be in your actual, okay, I see, I'm watching you on my thing, but I'm using.
Okay, up the top, there's a pencil, and it's annotate, and it's got spotlight, it's got draw.
Yeah, we use Google Meet, so I'm not sure. I'll have to play with it.
Have a look and see. Yeah, have to have a look and see what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy's just saying she doesn't think Google Meet has it. So.
And that's why I have to tell you, that's why we've stuck with Zoom.
Gotcha.
So that because I find it's got some of these. I mean, there's pros and cons about which one, to use. But there are on Zoom there is that.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for that.
But the other thing, play around, because I think as we do more of this, other people are going to discover other ways to do things. I think Google Meets it doesn't have, I find it easier to share and annotate and do all that sort of thing on Zoom. And I know you're probably not allowed to use it, are you?
Right, we have to use Google Meet.
Yeah.
But anyways,
so,
it is.
But the other place, Amy, I find is incredibly helpful is YouTube. Just put in your question, and they will often, there's lots of people who are helping. And there also may be actually on Google, there is a place that you can ask, for help.
That's true.
Because as people are using this, there's things that they need to do that they can't. And with, are you Amy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that we need you absolutely got to be able to draw their eyes to where you need them to be, to look.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah,
so
do that. Okay. So, are we all back, do you think? Looks like there's lots of people back. Ashley, I'm just looking at some of the questions on chat, okay? See at the bottom of the chat, Ashley, where it says, I think it's the 3 little dots, Ashley?
Yes.
That's where you can save it. That's where you save your chat.
Okay, I don't see. I might have to have somebody help me with that. Is that
Down the very bottom, just scroll to the bottom of where the chat thing is, and then it's got to everyone or file, and then got 3 little dots.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you click on the 3 little dots, then it'll say save chat, and it just saves it to your computer.
Okay, I don't see the 3 dots.
You don't? Does it say?
Okay, I can just screenshot it. I got it.
Okay, so there was one here that I saw, the one about when there's children between classrooms. I don't believe that you would have to create your own, you'd have to create your own. I don't think you can have students between different classrooms. I'm not actually sure about that. So that's a question I can ask. I think that's a good question. I understand totally, because you have kids from different rooms. So let me, I've saved this, so I'll have it. We did that one there, we did that one there. Don't know about that. Okay, okay. So,
yeah. It's okay, I screenshot it.
okay. So, okay, so this is where, can everybody see this? This is the back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so we've signed our child in. And of course we have, Jan has, the Literacy Footprints has the assess, decide, guide cycle. So assessing is going to be kind of hard. And I asked what you have, and you have the TRC running record that I think you have to have done, you has to have it done by like October. You do it in the last couple of weeks. Now, what I told Kim and Ashley is kindergarten, in order to assign your children into a group, whether they're beginners or whether they're level A or whatever, all you need to do is give them the letter ID, letter identification. Children who know 40 or less letters are in beginners, and if they know more than 40 letters, you can start them in the A. Now that doesn't mean to say that you're not going to have to do a little more support to get them into the components and things, but they will be working more independently than the children who you are still really focusing on getting the letters and sounds and some snap words, some high frequency words, those concepts about print and reading and writing. So they have the text and their reading and writing, and then they have their letter and sound information and words, some words, building some words. In fact, beginners doesn't build a high frequency vocabulary. That really starts strongly in A. You're really focusing on getting that, understanding those concepts about print, pointing, one-to-one, and I don't know how many of you have done the beginners. I love that lesson. Honestly, I think the shared reading is inspired, each with their own book, because all of their book handling skills really sharpen up. And yes, their one-to-one might be slightly off, but you can help them with that when you're looking at them and helping them. You're obviously going to be doing some read alouds and shared readings with them at other times. So with And so you have your own running record, you have your own assessments. Kindergarten, just do the letter ID, and you can do it as early as you like. Now, many schools get to do the letter ID in the spring when this kindergarten roundup, and I know you didn't get to do that this year. Quite often, you kind of have a sense of where the children are on that letter ID coming into kindergarten. So somehow you're going to have to work out a way to do that, and you can do it online with them. You can just, you can put up the ABC assessment on the screen and have them, you can touch them and they can say them or give a word, whatever they're going to do. Do you do a letter ID at the beginning of kindergarten, an assessment? Letter identification, you do. So you've got your own one that you can somehow work out how to use. But that allows you to organise your children into appropriate, and I don't know what your school clientele is like. I'm working with an independent school in Detroit, and most of the kids, virtually all the kids, come into kindergarten knowing all their letters. They're pretty well endowed children. But I have many children we work with that come knowing very few letters. So you have to find out where to start them. The other thing, if you haven't seen your children, well, you don't know where they are because you really haven't worked with them individually in small groups, then the other thing you can use, and some of you may have already used this, on the actual literacy website, Literacy Footprints website, they have a quick assessment. Now, I have to tell you, I think it's quick and dirty, but I think it's where they read the word list and it tells you what level to start at, and then there's a running record that pops up online and you can have them read that. That can be, a dipstick for how to organise your children into groups as you get going, okay? Put your thumbs up if you have already seen that. If you would go into the Literacy Footprints downloadables and just put in the search bar, I think it's in each grade level actually, and it's a leveled word assessment, I think it's called, and it's a place to start. These are not perfect times. Ideally, I want you all doing your running record assessment so that you can find out where they are and do some discussion on comprehension and things like that. But we just got to work out a place for them to start. Okay, so we have to assess in some way so we have a ballpark for where we can then have them start in the groups. So setting up the group. So you've put your children in all independently and you didn't fill out the group line because now that you've assessed, you've decided how many groups you're going to have. Now, I'm just going to unshare this for a second because I want to see your faces. Who, put your thumb up if you've already done, some of you've done summer teaching. Amy, you said you did summer school, you were teaching online in summer school. How many of you have already done some online teaching? So Amy, how many did you have in a group? Amy Morgan, can you unmute and just tell me?
Yeah, I just was one-on-one this summer.
And this is tricky. With kindergarten, my level A's, although they're all little, you can't have too many in a group because of the management, and particularly kindergarten children and little grade 1, I mean, they're kind of swirling in space. Here is something else I discovered teaching these 3 kindergarten. A couple of things. One, I wasn't their classroom teacher, so they did not view me as a teacher, okay? Little girls down the road were friends' daughters. I've babysat them, they know me, I go to their birthday parties. So they thought their job, they thought when you work online, it's to play games and it's for me to entertain them or for them to entertain me. So when I asked them, put your finger under that and point it, they were very put out. So it was kind of, it was tricky. And they would just turn their back on me, say no. And what do you do when they're at the end of a screen? It's not easy. So you're going to have to work out how many. You will see videos of Jan teaching online, but with much bigger children, and she's got 3 or 4. And I think that's a different cup of tea. I think K1, 2 or 3 is probably, I'm just saying, ease into it. I don't know, Amy, you might be able to give help with this. I wonder if you met with them one-on-one, just initially for a short time, to teach the procedures, to teach the routines, then it might be easier to put them in like a 3, because they would know what they had to do. Grade 1, because they're used to the ABC chart, they're used to the sound boxes, they're used to writing words, that may be easier at grade 1, but I think at kindergarten you're going to have to teach all these things. So I think it's going to be a challenge getting it established. Don't have too many or you will go crazy. I know. I thought I would be able to teach these twins together. Didn't work. You're talking to her more than you're talking to me. You're not looking at me. You know, it's like, come on. I'm not used to that sort of carry on. Okay, so let's have a look at then at the next piece where we're putting these children into a group. We have assessed and we're putting them into a group. Okay, can you all see that? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to set up your groups. Let me just click down here. And that's where you would click. This is where you added your students, okay? And this is where you would then put them into groups. So you will have your children in the, they're already in your classroom, digital classroom. Add a new group. So you would click on add a new group, and you would, then it gives you a space where you can, in that we had an empty line that, let's say your groups were pink, yellow, red, put in pink on all the pink ones, and then when you pull them up as a group, when you go to teach them, they'll come up together. You'll have them all on the screen, and well, it'll come to that in a second, okay? So add a new group, and that we can put them into groups. Have you got more than one? If you haven't, you may need to add, so you've got 2 children. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to leave you here. Go into your digital reader and create a group. Just do exactly what I've done now. So you would go to that screen. If you've only entered 1 child, quickly add a 2nd child so that at least you've got 2 kids you can put in a group. You okay, Kathleen? Talk to me if you need help. hesitate. If you need help, if you're having trouble, just talk to me.
Kim just let me know that Pioneer Valley's uploaded all the accounts. So if you did not have your account today, check your email and they might be there. They should be there.
Thank you. So if you need just a few more minutes to create a group, can you put a thumb up? And I can see that some of you have muted, you're not on the video because you're working on your other screen, and that's just fine. So come back as soon as you have got yourself that you've made the group. And if anyone has questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there any way to change the color of the group name, the little icon?
Yes, there is. You can change, well, not even, you can change the icon. You can give them a different emoji. What do you call that? The different picture.
It's like the little circle with the letter.
You mean for the student?
No, for the group.
Change the color. Oh, so it matches if you've done a color. You know, I don't know. That's beyond my pay scale. But let me ask them. Can you change? Probably not. Color of circle for group. So you're meaning so it would match the color?
Yes. Yes.
And you don't have to have a color. You can have anything, but colors are kind of just, fairly bland, aren't they?
Easy for kindergarten.
Yeah. Color of, exactly, of circle for group name. Okay. Pink, etc. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so we've set up our groups. And then you've got them in your groups and you have to create an assignment. This is always an exciting part of my day. At the end of each, when I've finished doing the lessons, I go back and decide what book they're going to have the next day, and you can set it up so it's already there when you come in the next day. But you come here to book assignment and you would click on book assignment. And if you're in a group, then you would have clicked on your group. If it's just an individual child, then do you just click on that child's name. And you just simply click on the book you've chosen, and above it, it says assign book, and you just click on assign, and it automatically goes back into that group with that book up on the screen for you. Here are the different things which are confusing, just the names. The bookshelf is where easy reading goes, okay? Book bag is where they go once they've been read as an assigned instructional book with you. They go into book bag. And after the child on their own digital reader has read it 3 times, and you'll see that there's a little check mark at the end that they have to click, it will then move over to the bookshelf. But it's a really good way, and we talk about this just a little further on, of monitoring that children are rereading books. Now, I think that we're going to find that there's many children who haven't read anything over the summer at all. And I know that that can be normal, but I think it's going to be even more than usual. So helping parents understand how these kids can access these books even at home. I know that my niece, who has used the bookshelf, that that every night, even though he's not using the digital reader because he's got the hard copy, he is making sure that he's reading 2 or 3 of those books every single day as a familiar reread. And this little kid, I'm very proud of my little nephew. He is like an overwound clockwork mouse. He will stand, headstands on the chair while you're trying to teach him. Does this sound familiar? Okay. He's a very indistinct speech, but he's a really bright little boy. Good, even though he's got articulation issues, language processing is his fluency, his intonation when in kindergarten, he is on H, and he is just doing beautifully. So I've really made a point of using this so that I'm familiar with it, and you know, I like books in hands as well, but books in front of eyes might be what we can cope with. So there's where the assigned ones are, and then we're going to look at the lessons as you would be teaching them with the shared screen. When you are introducing the book, when you are doing word study, when you are doing the writing, and initially, the introductory piece, if you like, is on our shared screen. And then when they do their own work, they go into their own screen for reading the book. And if they're writing and they need to reference the book, then they would be doing it on their own, look at their own screen. So here we have some examples of lessons. And synchronous, you've heard this term, synchronous and asynchronous. And so you have an option here. What we're talking about is that it's going to be at home or at school. Now, just correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but I believe that you are, why am I not seeing anyone? Oh, because I put it down there. You're totally remote.
Correct, for the first 9 weeks.
For the first 9 weeks, okay. So this is going to be you. So you won't be sitting at this table with its partitions. You will be having to teach and train your children for routines and things over digital access, remote teaching. So regardless of whether you're at school or at home, you're going to have to carefully and religiously walk through the resources so they know what to do with them. Okay, and as I said to you, I talked with Ashley and Kim, and they're talking about we'll put together a baggie so the children have what they need at home. So there'd be word study, how to use the digital reader, and what they need to do with their computer tools. Now, this doesn't surprise anyone. Many of our children are very digitally savvy. Are you finding that? Lots of your children know what to do. Now, if they are at home, I am thinking, Jan doesn't think that we can assume at kindergarten and grade 1 will have anyone to help them. I have to say to you, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be really hard if they don't have anyone there initially to help them with because you've got a lot of stuff, okay? But someone's going to be looking after these children if they're at home. So hopefully there's a caregiver or a grandma or grandpa or whoever's looking after them there, and make them your best friends, because what they will try to do is to tell the children. So you've kind of got to train that person as well, that we don't come in and tell the kid, we're going to let the kid work it out. And both my mothers and as a father who occasionally does it, are prompting beautifully now. They, you know, it's really, you get this ripple effect where the whoever's helping learns how to do it. So at home, they need somewhere quiet. And I was reading something from somewhere yesterday that children, you know, they're in their bedrooms, they're in their closets, they're in places that it's quiet, particularly if there's a lot of people at home. They can't be interrupted. So the problem if they're in the kitchen is that somebody comes to the fridge and gets something to eat. You've got to kind of work this out with the family. They're not eating while they're learning. They're not eating mac and cheese. They're not eating their sandwich. There has been a lot of articles and opinions on Ed Week and other places recently about schools are saying to children, you have to be dressed. This is school. You have to be awake. One school I saw has banned hoodies and dark glasses and pajamas because it's like that mental set of what's going on here. So these are things that you have to talk to if there's a caregiver there, you have to kind of go through these expectations. Either have a folder or a baggie or a tub, so they've got everything in it. Now, I suggest, and you might be, this is what I set up for my little ones who were at home because they didn't have the, I just photocopied the ABC chart. So they need to have the ABC chart that is the literacy footprints one, so you all have the same one. Doesn't have to be color, it just looks prettier. But I just taped it onto the cookie sheet, and then they put the letters on top, and you probably have, maybe you have these at school. You have these at school? Yes? Kim, Ashley, you do. So I put the letters on top here, so they're the same, okay? So that they've got them. Now, the reason I'm being so specific here is, if you have toddlers, if you have other children, you will get to your lesson and the letters will be lost. They'll be all mixed up. They haven't got them. You have to wait while they find them. So I taught my kids, the parent, at the end of the lesson, this goes on the high shelf. It's not to be played with, because when you come back the next day, it needs to be ready for the children to use. So you have to be, otherwise you find that it's very frustrating because you sit and you haven't got the stuff there. Some kids have it, some don't. So these are just things I have discovered over the summer, that one mother, the twins' mother, is very organized, and she eventually got a folder for each child and put everything inside, so that the child just brought her folder to the table. But so these are things to be thinking about. I don't need to tell you this because you're all K-1 teachers, but make a friend of whoever is helping them, because then you'll find it goes smoothly and the kids take it seriously and they're ready. And actually, you know what? We're doing a lot of good training on these parents or caregivers at home about how to help children when they listen to their reading and things. When you are working with a small group in a live lesson, Jan discovered this, have them mute their volume while you're listening. If you've got 3 children, teach 2 of them to mute it, and then you only listen to the one who's reading, and that's not disturbing for the children who are reading themselves, okay? Jan has found this has been helpful, and she holds a card up, you would have seen this, to tell them all to come back so that they unmute. She actually trains, and this is on bigger children, but you can probably do it with little children. At the end of each page, just glance up at the screen to see if there's any instructions. So these are things that you're going to have to work with as you work with a group. So here's Michelle working with her grandson and Jackson, and I think this is a J, something like that, but she's worked with them all summer and been practicing with a digital reader. So this is her, and this is the shared screen, and this is her doing the introduction, and then she sets him off to read.
Okay, Jackson, our new book today is called Quack and the Eggs. I wrote this book, and it's illustrated by Tracy LaRue-Han.
Is the illustrator the drawer?
Yeah, the person that made the pictures. She did all the Quack the duck stuff. Okay, so in this story, Quack is trying to get all of his brothers and sisters to play with him, but they're all too busy. So he finds somebody else to play with. Let's see who it is, okay? I bet you can guess. So here he is, he's asking his brother,
One morning, Quack
We're not
found.
gonna read it. We're not gonna read it right now. I'm just telling you about it. His brother's busy going fishing with his friends, so he won't play with Quack. Then he asks his sister, and she's busy swimming. He tells her, you aren't nice. Can you find that word nice at the bottom of the page?
Nice.
You see it?
Nice.
Can you see the part that says ice and nice?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Has that little ice part in it. And the eggs. Okay. Ready?
Okay. One morning, Quack found his big brother. He was hard. He was
Notice the nice time.
You see something you know in that word?
Old.
Yeah.
Holding a fishing rod. Will you play with me? Asked Quack. I am going fishing with my friends, said his brother. Can I come with you? Asked Quack.
Okay, that's it. Stop. A couple of things in there, just watching that, just processing wise. The nice wait time that Michelle has when he's working out, holding, you see her waiting, you are going to find that the caregiver, the parent, the grandparent will jump straight in and say, holding. So you do have to kind of say, grandma, we're going to, he's got to be, we want problem solvers. So that's a real issue, okay? And they think, oh, he's only a little baby, he can't work, I don't want him to struggle. It's like, no, we're teaching him to work it out. I also notice here, just as an aside, this is like a J, and you have to be breaking words up at this level. So she did a nice little piece in the introduction with nice and ice. Did you see a little piece, you know, which serendipitously fed forward very nicely into holding. Where can you see, because he was hit hard, he did monitor, he did stop, he did notice, but then she gave him quite a good, can you see something you know? And he broke it and he worked it out. So this is the introduction, and then he would be just reading it on his own digital reader. Okay, I'm going to click to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so just as an aside, just so you know, this is one of the little twins that I taught in the summer. Okay, and we didn't have I didn't use the digital reader with them. They had copies of the book because they lived down the road from me, and I just held up the book. But that you can see that they've got all their stuff that they need, the markers, everything is sitting there. It's a little folder with everything in it. So this would be if you have a video lesson, and we're going to talk about how you might manage that, okay? So you are going to see, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you time to have a look, that there are video lessons for some of the books. We're working on getting them for all, but they're not there for all yet. If you use the intervention kit, the digital reader that was up in the summer, we got videos done for basically most of those. And as an aside, if you are using the intervention kit, if you go into Literacy Footprints and go to the Read at Home series, all those videos are still up there. Just so you know, if you are the intervention kit and you're wondering if the books, if the lesson plans and things are going to be up there, on the Literacy Footprints website, just search Read at Home books, scroll down, and you'll see that I just checked yesterday, all the videos are up there that we did to match them for the digital reader. So it may be that that's helpful, Ashley, for the intervention, if people are using the intervention one. I'm assuming they're just going to leave them there, but we are working hard, and there's like 800 books. So it takes a long time. But there are, for some of them, there are recorded lessons, at least 1 or 2 or 3 for each level at the moment. So you're going to show the children, just like I'm going to show you in a second, where you will locate and use the teaching videos. The reading one is the book introduction, and then we send them off on their digital reader to read it themselves. And then for K1, they come back and we do a choral reading. We didn't do that in the summer at the first digital reader because we didn't think about it. But what Michelle felt was that we don't hear the children. We don't know how well, if they're doing the lesson by themselves, we don't know how well they read it. And we want to leave them with a good rendering of the text so that when they go to reread it, at least they've had that opportunity. They may have read it just fine, but at the end of each one, you'll see where there is a choral reading. For K1, it drops away as they get better. We have reading the book, we have word study, and we have writing. So there's 3 different segments. Where there is a video to go with the lesson, you'll see that there's 3 different segments. So you might decide, you have to tell them which piece of the recorded lesson that they are to watch, and they would be doing that not with you. They would be doing that on a day when perhaps you couldn't work with them, okay? So you tell them you're going to read listen to the introduction, and then tomorrow when you come back, we'll read the book. Or you're going to read the introduction and read the book. You're going to do the word study. So you will tell them which piece. They don't have to do all 3. Another thing that you will find is that I found that with my little nephew, who's like the overwound clockwork mouse, I can only do like 10, 15 minutes, even now. He can't sustain anymore. He's all over the place. So I taught his mother how to do the writing. And after about a month, I discovered he just was crazy. He can't have magnetic letters. They're all over the room. You know, that sort of child. So we do the reading of the book and some quick word study, and he writes with his mother. So we do like an intervention lesson with him where we do everything every day, and he's done really well. But his mother has learned to teach the writing really well. And it so happens that the older brother, who's 7, is autistic, and she said his writing is terrible. So she's been doing the same thing with him. And she said his writing has really, really come on. So we see these good little ripple effects that that warm our hearts. And then you do need to check back in with children if they've done a recorded lesson. So you have that accountability. It might just be for a short time. They might just read, let me just get rid of, how do I get rid of this? Let me just get rid of it. How are we going to monitor how well they did it? So.
Now, one thing you might notice is a little video camera above some of the books. This indicates that there's actually a videotaped lesson to go with the book. So let's look at a friend for Jasper. If you see over here, this little icon, you click on it, and you're going to see that there's a book introduction, there's a word study lesson, and there's a guided writing lesson to accompany this book. So you could have the students listen to the book introduction before they read the book.
And she means with you.
So here it is. And they can make it full screen by clicking right here on this icon. And there you'll see Karen.
Hi there. Today we're going to be reading a new book, and our new book is called A Friend for Jasper. Take a few minutes to find this book, and also see if you can find some sticky notes or some sticky flags, or even just a piece of paper to mark some.
Now, this video is from the summer videos. Notice that she doesn't have a digital reader. She's holding up the book. But you would be on your digital reader. And obviously they can't stick sticky notes, but they can have pieces of paper where they put the page number. This is probably the top end of grade 1, okay, not going to be your K children. But just notice that this is actually, she has a hard copy like I do.
Pages in your book.
So once they listen to the book introduction, they're ready to read the book with instructions from the teacher. We are adding videotapes lessons every day. We have many teachers around the country that are working on making us lessons. After they read the book, then they could do a word study lesson.
Hi there, welcome back. So for this part of the lesson, we're going to do some word study activities or games, and you either need to find some alphabet letters, or you could even write them on little pieces of paper and cut them out, or maybe you have a game around that.
I'm sorry I'm keeping stopping. I just want to say to you, your children will have their materials because you're going to send them home, okay? So you will just say, get out your cookie sheet or get out whatever.
And then there's a guided writing lesson to accompany it.
Hi there, welcome back. So now we're going to write about our book, A Friend for Jasper. Remember when we read this story, we marked the pages where there was a problem.
So keep looking back. We're adding videotape lessons as we go along. These videotape lessons also accompany the books in the Read at Home collection if you have students that don't have access to read the books digitally.
Okay, so now we can see here, she's showing us at an earlier level. Where you have the book introduction, the word study, and the guided writing.
Today's book is called Bella and Rosie Love Spring. In this story, they see lots of signs that spring has arrived. Let's open up the book and we'll see what signs of spring they see. And here are Bella and Rosie. Now I'm going to give you a little trick. Sometimes people get confused which one is Bella and which one is Rosie. But you see Rosie's pink collar right here. And in some pictures, you can see Bella with her purple collar. So that's one way you can tell them apart. But of course, the other way is to check the first letter. Is that Bella or Rosie? It's Bella, isn't it? So Bella says, spring is here. Say that with me. Spring is here. What letter does spring start with? S, doesn't it? There's that word spring. Rosie likes spring. What do you see that might make her think about spring? Today's book is...
Okay, so then we're moving on to the...
Now we're going to do a word study activity. And you need your letter tray. If you don't have your letter tray, pause the video and get it and then come back. Okay, for this word study activity, you're going to need your letter tray, and I'm going to write a word on the screen. And I want you to take the letters off your tray to make this word.
You will see that this is a much higher one up at JK. Some of your grade 1 kids will be well and truly up there by the end of the year, okay?
I'm not going to say it, all right? Go ahead and take the letters off your tray and make this word? Okay. Did you make this word? Right. Now I want you to break it into these parts. So break it into 3 parts. Take off the ending. And take the first part or chunk of the word off. Just 3 parts. Check the screen. Does it look like that? All right, let's read these parts. Conviction. All right, now put those parts together and read the word conviction. All right. Now we're going to make a new word. It's going to have the same ending. All right, and now you're going to make this word. Take the letters off your tray to make this word. I want you to break that word into 3 parts. Take off the ending.
I'm going to go into this piece here because that is much higher than most of your children would be. She is using the whiteboard. I'm not sure how she gets the magnetic letters up there, but I know that there are ways that people have talked about. A lot of my reading recovery teachers have been very ingenious, and I think that there's other things that you can use that allow you to manipulate letters online. Okay? Okay, so now let's have a look at some of these recorded lessons. You will notice that the book introduction and in the writing, we do a very heavy scaffold in the book introduction because it's hard to gauge when you've got children online, things that we think they're looking at when they're in front of us, and we can do that. So you will notice that I think it's a pretty rich book introduction, and sometimes in the writing as well. Now you all know this because you've used this resource before, or most of you have. The moment you open the book to read it on day 1, you are starting to think about the writing, particularly about planning for the writing, particularly as you get up to E, F, G, where the children are imposing their own stories. So I found that teachers and children sometimes see writing as disconnected to the reading, but really, the moment you open it, that's what you're doing. If we have time, there is the most wonderful little video that Jan does in kindergarten. I think it's a B, the book Camouflage, and it's about compare contrast. And she has these kindergarten children orally discussing compare and contrast. A leopard is like a lion because they're both cats. And it's only oral at that stage. But I think about children who start to write about compare contrast up at JK, and they don't know how to formulate it. They don't have the language. So I think that the comprehension, the understanding, which is writing about reading on day 2 for most of you, it's about understanding a story. It's not just reading the words, you're really thinking about the story. So when they've done a recorded lesson, you have to think about, how do I touch base back with that child so that I know that they're accountable for it. And it may be just a page or 2. They talk about this, meet live, have them reread the book or part of the book. I have said to children, and I've said this to them live, when I'm working with them, did you read that yesterday? Yes. I said, well, you're going to know because you're going to read it again now. And like the accountability that you are going to read it with them after they've read it by themselves, I think is important, so that because they think they're very hidden online, discuss the book, a shared retelling, and you can do that with a group there. And they might have some sticky notes they've written, or they might have made some notes on a piece of paper that they can share once they get up to higher levels, F, G, H, where they're starting to make notes. Word study. Again, you need to just check in with them, and it might be just at the very beginning of your next lesson of what they did, but making sure that they're not practicing inappropriate behaviors, that they're not going backwards. with the letters in the box or things like that. I mean, how many of you have had kindergartners who go backwards? I mean, you've got to be watching like a hawk, don't you, that they're going left to right. You may find that it moves you on to a different element in the next lesson, but you think you need to redo it again. Okay, don't be frightened to do that. If you think you need to practice hearing and recording sounds for several days in a row so that they actually get that pushing in, they actually understand that they're going to write, you know, you have to practice with them. The interactive whiteboard, and you don't use Zoom, so I don't know, do you have, does Google Meets have a whiteboard? Who knows? No one knows.
If it does, I don't know about it.
Okay, and I don't know either, but I do know that there is, there seems to be another one out there that perhaps Google Interactive Whiteboard, and I can have a look back on my emails from my reading recovery teachers, that a number of them, there was one that they could download, I guess it was an app, I don't know, and that they could pull up so the kids could see it.
You can use Jamboard on Google Meet.
Okay, J-A-M?
Yes, on Google Meet, you can use Jamboard as a tab.
Great. And that will help you be able to write things. If you're using Zoom, you can do the annotate and you hit draw and you can just write it with your finger on the whiteboard, or even underneath on the page. So that gives you that ability to do it.
Are pretty open, so give me just
the other one is like 4-5, and then 2-3 is this afternoon.
Oh, somebody's on who's talking about, it might be Ashley. Okay, it's not us. She's not talking to us. Okay, so here is the writing. Now, this obviously is a higher child, but if your children are writing, your little ones are writing, you need, if you can't.
I can do Thursday at 7.
Okay, is that Ashley?
Okay, I will put you in, and then we will see you then, and just make sure that whoever's coming wears a mask. And then we'll just plan on seeing you at 7 on Thursday.
Okay, see if that helps.
Thank you.
Know.
Have a good day.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
No, she isn't.
Is it Ashley, do you think?
No, it's not me.
Who is it? Okay, make sure you're muted if you're not talking. Megan, Clyde, Kristen, none of you are muted. Somebody's holding conversations and we can hear them. Okay, so if your little children are writing, and I can read it upside down usually pretty well, but you have to have them pull the lid of their computer down a little bit or tilt the Chromebook or the tablet so that it's on where they're writing. If you can't see it, then have them turn it around and hold it up to the screen so that you can see it as well. That can be a little tricky. Very often the tablet is tilted back and it's not easy, or the Chromebook is tilted back and it's not easy to have it upright on the table and you can't see what the child's doing. So that's something you need to work with the caregiver or the child about. So we're back to the assigned books here, and we're talking about you. This is not going to be you. It may be you in the second semester where there are some live lessons and there's some assigned recorded lesson where you've got kids going between them, the two of them. One of the things when the kids are not with you is know what the children are strong at if you can. So if your children find writing difficult, and many little ones are finding writing difficult, then make sure you do that lesson in person. Assign them the book introduction and perhaps then read the book with them, but work it out. And you're only expecting to do one segment a day. So you're either going to read the book tomorrow, or the next day you would do the word study, okay? If you can get through a whole lesson, do it. But very often you can't. So don't expect that you're going to get through the whole lesson initially. Down the track you might, and that will keep it moving on, and it means that you'll get to more groups. So know what your children are strong at and know what they need much more support with. I found after about 4 weeks, the motivation waned. It was kind of a novelty at the beginning, but then and I read this online too, many teachers saying, you know, they kind of were over it. So you're better to do short and snappy, get in, do it, get out, than to have kids kind of lying lackadaisically around there listening to you. You want children to continue to do as much as they can by themselves. Keep them focused and keep working on it. So here's some suggestions for how you can, we've talked about these, but you can break things up so that you keep it moving for them. And again, this would be decided by the strengths of the child. So what are you going to do when kids miss a lesson? I would suggest to you on Google Meet, can you record your lesson?
Yes, we can record.
So I would suggest if someone's away, you record it and then you'll be able to give it to that child. Now, Ashley, does that mean you have to have permission? Well, I guess they're all on, you have to have permission from the families. Do you get a permission to record routinely in your schools?
Yes, I believe we have that, but we've got to use Google Meet, so we can use it.
No, that's fine. But I mean, as long as you can, as long as you're allowed to record it, because then you're sharing that with another family. So you just need to make sure you have that taken care of. Okay. I think it's really tricky. I mean, your days are full anyway, trying to get around all your children without trying to get back and pick up with children who've missed. So I think that if you can assign it and then they can come back in the next day and then they can, they're up where the rest of the group is. When you go into the student view, this is what you see, and there's a mask, and when you click on the mask, it gives you it'll give you the student page, okay? So you click on that mask and you'll have to play around. I'll give you some time in a minute to click on some of these things and see what they show you. So this is what it would show you if it was Ashley's. This is what you would see on Ashley's screen once you clicked on the mask. And so it tells you can click on assigned books, you could click on the bookshelf, you can click on the book bag, and that means that you can check and see how many times kids have read them. And this is her bookshelf. This is all the familiar ones. So if we said before, if the child was on D, then you might have clicked the B and the C. And they will have lots of books that are at an easy level for them that they can go in and read. Now, obviously, at the beginning of the year, your little kindergartners, you don't have any really. You have to keep adding them in as you go. Grade 1, the books that they're going to see at A and B, or B and C, would be different than the B and C books they saw in kindergarten. So they may be unread, but they should still be able to read them by themselves because they're at an easy level. Okay, they're 1 or 2 lines of print, etc. At the end of the book, the child, after they've read it on their own digital reader, they click this, and they can click if they think it's a favorite, and of course some of them click all of them as favorites, which is fine. It goes into their book bag, and when they have read it 3 times, it will move into their easy reading bookshelf. So that's important that the kids, if they don't click it, it won't move. And this is the way that you check if they are rereading. Now, could they just turn to the end and click it? Yes, they could. We just have to trust that they are going to read it. And you can have a discussion about them so you kind of keep them on their toes. So at the top, you can see that this book has a video. This child has read it, it's a favorite, and it's now in her book bag. Those little icons mean that at the top. And we're talking about the rereading. Here is the book bag, okay, so that they have the book bag, which is where it goes after it's been read with you instructionally. And then once they've read it 3 times, it goes across to the bookshelf. Little confusing sometimes, but they've kind of got this running more smoothly. and they can mark their favorites. You told me before that you're at the end of in this particular one, JK is the end of grade 1, and that varies from district to district. Yours is I, which is fine. This is just a guide to show what you need to know your expectations about how to move them through. Now, you have, if you go, you can access the resource center from here, which gives you resources. And if you have questions and you need more help, also in here, there's how-to videos for how to record your own lessons and use your own lessons. So there are helpful things in there. Don't beat yourself up. You've just got to be patient, flexible, persistent. You know, Rome was not built in a day. You'll find the more work you put up front in teaching the routines and the components and the resources, then the more smoothly it's going to go. So don't, you know, you might not get through a whole lesson. Don't worry. Start it again tomorrow. Just you've got to get them immersed in it so that they know what to do. We're all in this together, Rusty the robot there, and what we're going, you know, looking at what he's going to do. So I'm going to go out of this PowerPoint. Let me stop sharing, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you some time to, no, sorry. Okay, I want you, if anyone, are there any questions, Ashley?
I think we're good.
Okay, I want you to go back in to your digital reader, and I want you to assign, and I want you to move down. I want you also, if you haven't been into the click on the resources part and click on the questions part, because you will find in there some places. So I'm not going to put you in a breakout room because you can do that just as well sitting here, and I can move across and talk to you as you go. So go into your digital reader. We've got 25 minutes, about 25 minutes. And then I do have some videos I'm going to show you of just some of the ones that I did. Please, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll be here.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I went into one of my students that I assigned into the bookshelf, and they have several books there. I thought earlier when we were talking that they would not have anything anywhere they could access unless we assigned it to them.
Did you open, I don't know why they would have a couple of books in there. Theoretically, you have to assign them. I don't know whether perhaps that when you were assigning it, when you practiced, did you assign one?
No, I didn't assign it. Go ahead.
Someone's got their speaker off. Someone needs to, not you, Megan. I think. Is your cell phone near you, Megan? If your cell phone's near you, move it away a little bit. Okay. Sometimes you can get back through there too.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you were practicing assigning before, did you assign?
No.
And so it's in their book bag. So did you, when you added the student and you put in the text level that the child was at, if you click on A, B, C, D down there, that will put them in. So it could be right back at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And you know, I don't put too many levels. I put like a couple of levels below. So if you put a B and a C in there, they're going to have about 20 books in their book bag, which is, you know, plenty of books initially. And you might only do one level. But it does give them, even if they're just learning how to turn the pages and learn, you know, looking at it, at least they're getting familiar with it.
Okay.
Okay. Someone had a question here about alphabet tiles. You're going to have magnetic letters going home, but also on the Read at Home reader that's up on Literacy Footprints website itself, not the digital reader, they have got ABC letters that you can print off there and the kids can cut up. So there's ABC letters up on the Read at Home resource. There's a sound box you can print off, an allergy chart. Don't think there's the ABC chart, I'm not sure about that. But there are some things up there. But you're going to send magnetic letters home. They're easier to manage because they stick and you can see them. Is that all, anything there? Okay. So while you're in there, go back in and have a look, find a video, find one that has a video, play some of the videos. If you've got K-1, there should be at least one video for each level. We're working on more. There may be more for some of them.
Michael, I think I heard you say that we were sending home magnetic letters.
Say that again.
Did you say that we were sending home magnetic letters?
That's what I've got written on my list here.
Okay, that might be the confusion because we were just sending home the letters from Pioneer Valley that can be cut out, printed and cut out. So
that's the sheet I'm talking about. Okay, so you're not having magnetic letters going home. You're having the and you know what? And I'm not suggesting that you suggest this, but I know that Jan found, you know, you can buy that magnetic tape, and they cut up bits of tape and stuck them on the back, so they became magnetic letters. But you know what? It's just a case of having them organized because they need to be kind of spread out. The other thing that sometimes families do have those little Velcro dot things so that you can stick them in the right place and they're there. You will find it's kind of frustrating if everyone's trying to sort their letters out all the time. So I had written down magnetic letters. If it's the ABC chart, it's fine. Okay, it's that they have something.
We purchased the magnetic letters for classroom teachers, so the teachers have it in their rooms, but they're not going home. So
no, that's okay.
I had people asking me if we had
well, I had written down magnetic letters, so I actually misspoke. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So has everyone found they've had a chance to look at all those things? You've found the videos, found one with a video, found one that's got a lesson plan, had a look at the book bag. I think Megan had asked me how come her children had some books in their book bag and she hadn't assigned anything. When you first populate that, where you've got their name, their class, their grade level, what level they're on, underneath that is a whole list of A, B, C, D, E, F. If you click on any of those, they will automatically go into the book bag because you're choosing an easy level. So don't click their instructional level there. Otherwise, they will be able to see them. That makes sense? Okay, so let's have a look here. Oh, I've got rid of that one. Hang on. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get back so I can show you. Here's my. Okay, let me just see if I can share this one now. Can you see that? Can you see fruit salad?
Yes.
Okay, so this is just a one that's coming up to go on, and this is a level A, and you can see me introducing the book. Now, this is where I told you I did point to the letters, I did point to the high frequency words, but when you record in Zoom, it doesn't record the cursor. So Michelle is adapting these through her one, and they will have pointing when they go up. But I just thought it was helpful to just see me. This is a level A book. This is very typically what you would be doing with lots of your children. Okay, let me see what happens. Perhaps this is not the right one. Hang on, sorry, I'm just trying to stop sharing. Let me just see if I've got the right one here. I brought it up before. Sorry, just let me just mentally get my brain organized here. Oh, I think I have to get it from here. Okay, it's all right. Sorry, you'll see all my stuff here. Don't worry. Let me just make sure we're shared. Okay, so this is one I've done. It's not up yet. It will be up very, very soon. So this is what it will come looking like to you when you do it. Okay, we're going to be reading the story today called Fruit Salad by Michelle Dufresne. And in this story, the mom and the little boy are making a fruit salad, and they're telling us all the sorts of fruit they like to put in their dish. So let's have a look at the different fruit that they're going to put in their fruit salad. What's the first one? Bananas, yes, bananas. What letter would you see in the beginning of bananas? You are right, you would see a B. Did you find bananas? Yes, and he says, this is the little boy talking, I like bananas. Let's see what the mom likes. Oh, mom likes oranges. What does the little boy like? Apples. Apples. Yes, you can check that. Apples in the picture, apples in the story. And let's have a look. Mom likes, you love this, watermelon. Mom likes, they are grapes. Yum, I like strawberries. And they put them in the bowl together and we call them fruit salad. So Mum and I, they both like fruit salad. So let's go back and let's read the story. Fruit salad, Michelle Dufresne. You read it, point with your finger so that you could be looking at each word. Make sure you're using all the words you know. Get the words started like apple, bananas. That will help you know what word it will be. Okay, I'll be waiting here to read it with you when you get back. Pause the video, come back when you're finished. I could actually. Okay, let's read it together. Fruit salad by Michelle Dufresne. Fruit salad by Michelle Dufresne. I like bananas. Mom likes oranges. I like apples. Mom likes watermelon. Mom likes grapes. I like strawberries. Mom and I like fruit salad. Let's find the word and. Say it slowly. And I am circling it. Yes. So what's your favorite fruit? Let's turn back and find the page that's your favorite fruit. I think this is my favorite fruit. I love oranges. Juicy oranges. You find the page that you like, because that will be the one that you could write about if you're having to do a story. Okay, I will see you tomorrow and we'll do our word study. So make sure online that you're kind of animated. I think you have to be careful of, I think you do need to put a bit of energy in it. That's why we're exhausted at the end of doing this online. Any questions? I did have the cursor going around it and pointing. And Michelle, as I said to you, she can copy it into QuickTime and she can put the pointing in because you really do need that. Oh. And okay, so what's missing? What's missing? You think so? You think it's the D? You are right, my man. Okay, are we ready again? What's another one? Oh, I'm going to show you, am I? Take a different one out now. I could trick you. You said, oh, I didn't trick you at all. You knew exactly last time. Let's see. You are right. And get the letters for and off your magnetic tray. Get your letters, quickly make them, put this down, and mix and fix, mix and fix, mix and fix. Make it say and. Check underneath it, and. Does yours look like mine? And I'm right, aren't I? Are you right too? Okay, mix and fix one more time, mix and fix, mix and fix. Make it say and. Check it. I'm watching you. Does it look like mine? It does. Okay, hide your word. Write and on the table. Say it slowly if it helps you. Okay, get your whiteboard, get your little ABC chart, whatever you write on, and let's see you write and. See how swiftly you can write and. See if you can write it without stopping. That tells you really know it. Okay, erase. And let's write my. We practiced my last time, didn't we? My. And now let's write and again. Thumbs up, you did a great job. Pop that away. And now we're going to do some sound sorting, looking at pictures and sorting the sounds. And we're going to have today a tricky one that's tricky for lots of kids, a B and a D. Oops, I haven't done a very good job of making that the same size. Just a second. Okay, so let me show you the pictures. Bear, banana, bat, balloon. Those are the B ones. Dice, deer, dad, dinosaur. Okay, let's see if we know which one they go in. Let's start with balloon. Let me pull this over here so you can see it. B, balloon. Does it go under a B or a D? You are right, it goes under the B. What about this one? D, dinosaur. You say it. D, dinosaur. Is he a D or a B? He's a D, isn't he? Okay, what about this one? You say it. Dad. And is it a B or a D? Did you hear the D for the D? You are right. What about this one? Excellent. I see you sang the word, listening for that first sound. Is there a D? So just in the interest of time, and we may get into the writing one if it comes up here. As you can see, I've got a broken wrist, so I'm a little cack-handed, but I did find that I want the children to be able to see the cards, and I did find that I have my magnetic board, and that you can actually kind of slip them in so that you can hold them up so they can see them. And then we also did read them through like we do when we're doing them at the table. Okay, so you have your word study box. You've got that with your resources, so you will have to sort out and be ready with what letters that you need. The kids normally would be sorting themselves, but you know what? I found that the kids they love that, and the best you can do is as you can see, I am doing that positive presupposition that the kids are saying it, that they're doing it. It's kind of like we're in this together, even though I can't see them. I'm kind, and kids, they really think I can see them. It's like, you know, are you doing that? Did you? Oh, clever cookie. You know, that you can kind of bring them on to do that. So this will be up any moment. I'm not going to do the writing because we've got 4 minutes left, but I'm just wanting, I know this is like, it was quick, but you should all have access to your digital reader. Ashley commented before that Kim's been talking to Pioneer Valley and they have resent the list. If anyone didn't get it, you should have it. If you haven't got it, make sure you let Ashley or Kim know. I would suggest that you kind of play around with it, but the more you use it, the easier it becomes to navigate and negotiate. If you are someone, my daughters have been on my case for 5 years saying, Mother, you need to do webinars. You've got a whole lot of basic stuff you do. You need to do webinars and put it on your website, and then you wouldn't have to travel so much. And I was like, oh yeah. And this has forced me to become more adept at using Zoom in this case, recording videos, editing videos, doing that sort of thing. So some of you are very technological. I can see there's a lot of sweet young things there, very technological, and help your friends who are not as technological. I know you are already doing that. And so are there any, in the interests of time, 3 minutes, any other questions, anything that you have questions about? And you can always email me. My website is, you can write, Ashley, you might want to put this on your thing, www.Dr. Michael, no E, Taylor.com. And you can always email me through that and just say, hi, I'm Ashley. I was at the Currituck, and I have a question, and I will be happy to get back to you. Okay, I'm pretty quick at getting back to people. So if any questions you can't answer between you all, please don't hesitate to come back to me. Questions.
Say that one more time.
www. And it's DRMICHAL, Taylor, TAYLOR.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you just go in there, there's a place for you to send me an email, and you know, as I say, I'm happy to clarify. You will find that resources are continuing to go up. So keep looking, and you might go on tomorrow and find there's something there that you haven't seen before. But I think we've kind of covered stuff that's coming up. Even if it's not up there, we're working really, really hard on the videos because I think they are helpful. Jan and Michelle, if you watched the remote one the other day, really recommend you make videos yourself because your kids want to see you. They don't really want to see us. But they are helpful, and I'm a great believer in, you know, fake it till you make it. So if you're having trouble doing it, just copy me. Just copy what I do, and then you will make it your own. Our videos that we put up there are usually pretty component-wise exact. As that, I don't know whether you saw the write and retrieve where I had them write and, then my, then and. A common misconception is that they don't know what write and retrieve is at teachers, but you write the word you're practicing, you write one that they've previously learned, and then you come back to the one that's newer. And the premise of that is if the new word isn't secure, that intervening word will shake it and they won't be able to get back to the next one. They get very quick at holding that image of that word. So these are all really, really good activities, practices to help children build that visual memory. Basically, all of the word study, particularly the sight word ones, are about building visual memory. So anything else? Thank you so much. I know this is really hard, and I know that some of you couldn't see and couldn't hear, and you're just awfully patient. And I'm amazed and delighted and thrilled, actually, that we had like 45 people. That's amazing. Okay, so I may well see you again at some time, but you are welcome to email me with questions. And if you have problems with the navigation of the digital reader, email customer support. They are very helpful. Okay, they know this is new. They know that it's obvious to them because they created it, and it's not always so obvious to those of us who are coming in and using it. So thank you, everybody. I look forward to seeing you again, I hope sometime. Good teaching. What do they say? Good gardening and good luck to you all. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.